I believe this is the first time you are joining us on television since you sold Quip to Salesforce. So I am curious, after having worked so many years in consumer technology at Facebook, at Google, with Quip, what has the transition to the enterprise been like for you?
It's been really amazing for me, actually, because if you look at the landscape of technology right now, I think it's changing more rapidly today than it has in generations. The World Economic Forum calls it the fourth industrial revolution, but it's not just one change. It's artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, mobility, this smartwatch, Amazon Alexa. And for a company like a Google or a Facebook, where I was previously, we have buildings full of engineers to sort of grapple with those changes. But if you're a 100-year-old insurance company or healthcare company trying to figure out how do I provide a customer experience in the face of all this change, it's really challenging to do. And fundamentally, that's our mission at Salesforce, is helping every company in the world grapple with these technological changes and transform their customer experiences. And it's really rewarding as a product developer to empower so many companies to do that.
Now, this announcement that you've agreed to buy MuleSoft for $6.5 billion, what can we read into it? Because it seems to be a desire to stretch beyond Salesforce's core customer relationship management tools.
You know, so if you think about what it means to transform a company that wasn't born in the digital era, this digital transformation, we fundamentally think it starts and ends with the customer, even if that means transforming a bunch of your legacy systems. And the reason why we're so interested in MuleSoft and this concept of sort of integrating all of these legacy systems is it really unlocks the data from legacy systems to enable people to participate in all these amazing new experiences we're seeing on our phones and our watches and through customer service experiences that are really transforming business today. So, you know, I do think MuleSoft's platform is amazing because it really enables companies to kind of turbocharge their digital transformation. And for Salesforce specifically, it means that they can transform their customer experiences faster, which is really our mission.
Now, Salesforce has been very acquisitive, including buying your own company, Quip. The deal chatter around Salesforce potentially buying Twitter doesn't ever seem to stop. I know you're intimately familiar with Twitter. You are on the board. Do you see Salesforce making more big deals in the near term?
You know, fundamentally, we work backwards from what are the technologies that we need to have to enable our customers to achieve their goals. And we always work backwards from the customer and the customer experience. And we'll always consider either building, buying, or partnering to accomplish those goals. And that will continue to be our strategy going forward.
Your current focus is Trailhead X, Salesforce's third annual developer conference. What are the objectives here?
So the really cool thing about Salesforce as a platform is we're not just targeting developers. We're trying to make a platform that enables a much broader range of people to have access to these new technologies. So this event, which is happening in San Francisco next week, the thousands of people who come here, many of them made a mid-career transition into technology, started outside the technology industry and learned for free using our self-learning tools like Trailhead. And by doing so, they were able to actually get a career in technology. What I think is so powerful about that and why this event is so powerful, if you look at the landscape of technology today and all the news stories you were just talking about, the society's relationship with the technology industry has really shifted over the past few years. And what I'm so proud of at Salesforce is we're really doubling down on this platform of enablement and empowerment and trying to create a job creation engine so that not only can we transform our customers' companies, but people can transform their careers through this platform. And I think that's a really empowering message, and that's really what we're trying to get across at Trailhead DX next week.
Now, you worked at Facebook for so many years. You are very close with Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg, and I'm so curious for your thoughts on this Cambridge Analytica scandal. Where did Facebook go wrong? And, you know, what do you make of Zuckerberg and Sandberg's response, which many think was just far too slow?
I think the trend I see is just broadly the technology industry coming to grips with the impact we're having on society. And I brought up that fourth industrial revolution concept from the World Economic Forum. I think that's really apt because it captures how big this is. And as the technology industry is maturing, I think we need to recognize that this isn't just about technology, it's about the impact on our society. And you know, my boss, Mark Benioff, often talks about how important it is that modern companies lead with their values, and particularly lead with the value of trust, and work backwards from that value in every action that you take. And I do think that when I look at the sort of lessons being learned in our industry right now, it's just reinforcing that it's the most important thing in our industry is trust, and it's extremely important that your company is crafted around your values. And I think it's a lesson that we haven't really had to learn to date, just because I don't think the impact of these technologies was honestly completely understood by society. And I think that's what's happening right now, is sort of those two things converging.
Right, but you wonder if they were completely or better understood by Facebook. You have people like Brian Acton, the co-founder of WhatsApp, which Facebook bought for $20 billion, saying to delete Facebook, and other former Facebook insiders really talking about the potential threats of the social network. Are you in that camp?
I have a great deal of personal connection and loyalty to that company, so it is obviously sort of uncomfortable for me to talk about. The thing I would say is that I do think that it's the right way to think about it is that these technologies have changed sort of the landscape of our society. Everything from the smartphone to social networks have changed the way we interact with each other. And they're much more than a technology. They actually change our behavior and change our interactions. And I think right now, we always like to say at Salesforce that these companies don't exist just to serve stockholders or customers. It's really about all stakeholders, and that includes the communities around us, it includes the government, it includes all of our society. And I think that right now, the way I think about it is, okay, these technologies are complex, their impact is very nuanced. How can we include all the stakeholders in coming up in the way to solve these problems?